Moving to Japan as a civilian DoD family, having never moved anywhere ever, has been interesting. This video is going to just be from my heart, and I have some notes here that I'm going to reference, but it's going to be a little different because we've been here 6 months, and I wanted to share some things I wish that I had known before moving here, and some things I've learned, and the good, the bad, and the ugly. It has not been all butterflies and rainbows. It has been amazing. It has been wonderful in a lot of aspects. But without further ado, let's just get into it. And if you're new here, I'm Dawn. I moved here with my husband from Hawaii, where I lived for 27 years raising our 3 beautiful children. I'm originally from Alabama, and now we're in Japan, where he got a job as civilian DoD, and we are learning how to live here. And I post content, cooking content. I'm learning how to cook Japanese food and just vlogging our life as we adjust and learn and explore this beautiful country. And if this type of content is not for you, this is a one-off video. You can just skip and just go watch the tips and tricks and vlogging and venturing and recipe videos. I will not be offended. So if you're preparing for your own big move, or you're just curious about what life is like here, thank you for being here. The first thing that I wish I knew prior to coming is that it takes longer to feel adjusted than people say. The typical amount of time that most people that I've asked or watched YouTube videos on or like follow usually say 6 months. It takes 6 months to feel adjusted and truly, at home. It's been 6 months, and honestly, it still feels very unsettling. Now, little caveat to that, I'd felt loneliness, I'd felt isolation, because we don't live near base, we don't live in any neighborhood that has Americans or foreigners. I think I'm the only person nearby or anywhere near here that looks like they don't belong. My husband's half Japanese, my son's Hapa, and they both look Asian, and I don't. And I knew that going in, but we had decided we wanted to live in Japan. We wanted to live out on the economy. We wanted to live, we didn't want to just surround ourselves with Americans. We wanted to experience Japan. And that's great. But I'm also wondering, was that the wise thing? I don't know. I'm having some conflicting feelings right now, just to be honest, because we're surrounded by, all of our neighbors are really older generation, elderly, and they're just precious, and I love them all. But culturally, they don't really prefer foreigners, and I know that's hard to verbalize, but we've had some different experiences that's made it clear that they really would prefer I not be here. And it's heartbreaking and it's hard, especially when you come into a situation and I came in with such hope and positivity and really excited about, being a help and an encouragement and, wanting my neighbors to like me and establishing relationships, and to feel rejected again and again. It's been really hard to deal with, honestly. And it makes me sad for myself, but it also makes me sad for them that there's that barrier. But I know that it's okay. It's okay. God didn't put me here for everyone. He put me here for the people he put me here for. And I'm still going to be courteous. I'm still going to be, do what I can to be kind and considerate and helpful. Even when they reject me, I'm still going to try to help. We had an elderly neighbor who had fallen, and he clearly had needed help. And he was there laying on the ground for quite a while. I mean, when we found him and saw him, we only saw from waist down. He didn't have shoes or socks on. It was when it was still cold outside, and it was Green Waste Day. So everybody was out doing their yards and stuff like that. And I thought, well, maybe he's down on the ground weeding under his hydrangea bush. It was kind of a big bush. And I thought maybe, he's easily 80 years old. And he had fallen, and I could see him like shifting and rolling and trying to get up, and like I could see his hand like kind of grabbing for the fence, and he clearly, and so Zach said, "Mom, I think he needs help," and I was like, "Oh yeah, he does." So I was like, okay, on your app, on the Google Translate, put in, can I help you? Do you need help? Can I help you up? And I said, you approach him because you're a guy, and, a guy to guy, I thought that might be, more easily accepted, and I'm just going to stand back, but I'll walk over there with you. And the gentleman I think he was embarrassed, and I get that. I mean, I understand. But he got really angry and was like, like telling us to go away. And then the elderly neighbor saw us trying to help, and she started yelling us to go away. And my heart just like, oh my gosh. And so he wouldn't let us help him. And so for almost 4 hours, he laid there in the cold, drizzling on and off rain. The elderly lady did try to go and like help him up a little, but she couldn't. She was older herself, and so she just left him there. Thankfully later, so I called my husband and I'm like, when you get home, you look Japanese, he's half Japanese, can you please go over and please see if he'll let you help him? I don't know what to do. And he was like, yeah. So before he came home, a little minivan came, like a handy van kind of a thing, and I guess his elderly wife was inside, and the worker helped her inside, and then he came and helped the gentleman up. But it was just like, he was in need and he wouldn't let me help, and they clearly did not want me around. And yeah, it was just heartbreaking. And I understand, honor and respect and all of that, but I was just trying to help him. And there's been other things that has happened, but I know God put us here for a reason, and he never promised that things would be easy. So I know he's building character and he's teaching us. I'm going to still keep trying. One of the missionaries in Tokyo gave me a suggestion and said, because I've given gifts to all the neighbors and we've tried to like make, friends, and they don't respond. They just kind of keep to themselves. And so the suggestion was maybe join a community center and start taking classes or participating. And then that's where the elderly spend their time during the day. And so maybe that would help you establish relationships, and they'll see that you're trying and they see that you care. And even, like all it takes is just one person seeing you and wanting to get to know you. And that's all I want, is just one person to care about me in the neighborhood. Because I say that because, I had come to terms with it. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to get my relationships from my neighbors in this area. I will get my community and my relationships with like people at church or people on base at the Bible study and things like that. And so I had I'd made peace with that, and actually have started, we found a church, actually 2 great churches that were helping, and have started making great friendships and relationships there. And so I had made peace with that, and I was like, okay. And so I was starting to feel a little settled. And then the earthquake in Russia happened, and the tsunami warnings happened, and then the typhoon and high winds happened, and all the stuff this past week that was supposed to hit, and all the natural disaster and the severe weather and all of this stuff. My husband and son went on a camping trip, and I was here by myself, and I'm like, what if I need help? What if an emergency happens? What if I fall down the stairs like I have twice already? That's a whole nother story in itself. But what if I need help? What do I do? Not that they aren't loving and kind people, but I think they would maybe be afraid to. I'm not really sure. And so that started making me feel a little bit more unsettled. So I went from unsettled, peace, contentment with the situation and figuring out, to unsettled. So we're trying to figure out a game plan of like, what's our evacuation process? Is our house in an evacuation zone? How to find that information? Where's the nearest like shelter? What do we do? Who do we contact? How far away do we need to go? And if my husband's not here, what do we do? And so I think just the unsettledness of not knowing or not having a plan just really wrecked me last week. It was horrible. I was like just in knots. It was such an emotional time. And so I'm like, what would I do if I needed help? And it had an emergency. I mean, I know I can call 119, which is the police, an emergency, but what if I just needed the neighbor to help me? Like with something that's not like a police ambulance emergency. I don't know. So all that to say is what I'm telling myself and what I encourage you is give yourself time and space and celebrate the small wins. Like, I'm so grateful for our friends at church and that we have found a wonderful community of believers and friends that, friendships that we're nurturing and building. And if you're moving to a place that has a language barrier, lack of language is also a barrier to friendship and relationship. So that's another point that I'm going to make later. But yeah, give yourself space, give yourself grace, and give yourself time. Celebrate the small wins and figure out, okay, what can I do to, what is working, what is going well, what do I need to adjust, and what do I need to do differently? And just come up with a plan. Having a plan is 90% anxiety killer, because if you don't have a plan, then there's nothing to fall back on. And that's kind of where I found myself last week, just feeling lost. Second thing, I wish that I had, I did know it, but I didn't really acknowledge it. But language is a bigger barrier than I expected. I started Duolingo, went to a little class at the mall, and really started putting in a lot of effort to start learning the language. And there's multiple writing systems to be able to read. And so I'd started learning one of them. And I was like, okay, this is great. And so I felt like I was making a little progress. And I was like, yes, I have Google Translate. That's great. I can just use Google Translate, which you can. But from building a relationship, Google Translate will only get you so far. So I'm sad to admit, I got really frustrated. And so I completely stopped trying. I put it aside, and I'm like, why am I even making this effort? My brain, I'm going through perimenopause. I have thyroid, an autoimmune thyroid thing that causes major brain fog, and my memory just isn't what it used to be at 51. Am I 51? I think I'm 51, maybe 52. See, my memory is mush. So I was like, this is not happening. I give up, because I would learn a question or learn how to ask something and ask it, but they'd reply in Japanese and I don't know what they answered. So I would feel bad because I couldn't understand. And they're trying so hard to talk to me or help me, answer my question or help me find things. And I just want to let me backtrack on my number one. I know I made it sound like no one's being nice to me, and that is not the case. There's so much kindness here in Japan, and everyone's so willing to help and help you when you need help, and people are so sweet and kind and so grateful. On the train, every time we get up and let one of the elderly sit down, they're always so heartfelt grateful and so appreciative and so sweet, and it's just great. It's just I wish my neighbor liked me more. But anyway, it's not about me. It's okay. It is okay. Let me encourage you. It's okay. Everyone doesn't have to like you. Okay, back to what I was saying. Language. Okay, I had high hopes of learning fast. I thought, okay, I'll just keep plugging along, Duolingo. But what I was finding is Duolingo, it kind of helped me learn some vocabulary, but it wasn't helping me. I couldn't transition into practical usage. And then I found an app called Teuda, and it was really great. But like I said, I got discouraged and I got frustrated and I just laid it down and I just quit. But I thought I could rely on Google Translate, and it'll help you in a crunch. But really, if I want to make relationships and I want to establish relationships and I want to make an impact while I'm here, which is why God put me here, then I need to learn some language. I need to at least learn some phrases to be able to say basic things. And I do know some. I do know sushi. And so, yeah, so I'm going to game plan, and what I'm encouraging myself as I'm giving you these ideas. learn and practice 5 to 10 core phrases that help with daily life. There's tons of like reels on Instagram or on YouTube that say like, oh, if you go to the Combini, you go to 7-Eleven or Lawson, the clerk always asks these phrases. And if you can just like learn to recognize them, to be able to say, you know, daijoubu or hi, you know, like yes or no thank you or whatever, that'll go a long way. Like at least you're not feeling completely lost. Just being able to recognize and hear and identify some words and phrases. Use Google Translate shamelessly. It is okay. At the supermarket, it was so overwhelming, and I was like, everything's in Japanese, of course. It's a local market. And I just would walk in and just be like, whoa, I don't even know where to start. I don't know what anything is. And I felt embarrassed pulling out my phone and like, I'm like, oh, they're all going to know I'm a foreigner. Well, they already know I'm a foreigner. Hello. And so I'm like, what's the shame in using this God-given tool to be able to make life a little easier and to be able to just shop and get what I need and be able to read the label and discern between the like 30 types of shoyu which one we need to get, and all the bags that look the same, which one's sugar, which one's salt, which one's flour. They all look the same and they're all kind of like grouped together. Which one is tempura batter, which one is, yeah, it's all there all together. Third thing, these all kind of, I don't know why, but I'm kind of all tying them back to a theme, and I didn't mean to do this. But number 3 is making friends as an adult is hard. It's hard wherever you are. If you're in the States or you're abroad, it's just a little bit harder when you're abroad. The nice thing that I have is I can go on base, and I can go to the Bible study on base. I can go to the different classes on base, and everyone speaks English, and I can have a respite from being a foreigner that doesn't understand anything. And I can find people that are from Hawaii, or people that, you know, are in the Bible study, or people that have high schoolers or homeschool or have common interests. And so it's a little bit easier to make connections, and I have made some of those. But no matter where you are, it's hard to make friends as an adult when you've been taken out of your established friend group of people that you've been with forever. And that was really, really hard. And it's still hard. But I've come to appreciate that it just takes time and effort. And the opposite is just remain lonely for the next 3 to 5 to 7 to 10 years. Or bite the bullet, go out of my comfort zone, my introverted comfort zone, and make conversation. Try. Ask questions. Like, you never know. And what I've found and what I struggle with, but I know is true, and I'm encouraging you, other people are feeling the same way. Other people are struggling with the same thing you're struggling with. They just may not verbalize it. You may not know. So instead of going in and waiting for people to come to you, go in a room and look for someone that needs someone to go and say hello to them. That's sitting by themselves, or that's standing by themselves, or looks confused, or doesn't. I mean, it could be look for the person that looks like they know everybody and go introduce yourself, and they could connect you with other people. Join interest-based groups like cooking, language exchange, or volunteer work. And say yes to invites, even when you feel shy. Even when you're an introvert like me and you would just prefer to stay in your jammies, snuggled up on the bed, or taking long baths all day. Yeah, be sure to smile at your neighbors. Try to learn their name. Number 4, things I wish that I had known or acknowledged. I think I knew this but didn't really acknowledge it. Shopping, systems, and everyday simple little tasks feel like puzzles and can make you so frustrated because everything takes longer. Everything takes longer because you've got to translate it, or if you're in a foreign country, or you've got to figure out what's the new system here in this neighborhood, what's the trash, what's the recycling. We were given an entire booklet on how to properly do the recycling here in Japan, and we have takes up almost the entire side of our fridge chart that is like a cheat sheet for us to know how to do our trash recycling. For example, milk cartons. When you get the milk carton, when you're done with it, you rinse it out and you take it apart at the seams, you lie it flat, and you tie them together with a certain kind of twine. For cardboard, you need to fold them or cut them so they're kind of uniformly sized, again, tie them with this special twine and put them out. All the trash has to be in clear trash bags so that when the trash is picked up, they can see inside to see if what's in it is supposed to be there. And so if it's a clear plastic recycling day, and you have like a bento bottom, black bento bottom in there, it's also plastic, it's also recycling, but you have to separate it, and it has to be clean. If it's not clean enough, they will leave it there. So you got to wash it. And for like bottles, that was interesting. So like, I don't have one here, but like a Coke bottle, for the recycling, you think, oh, I'm just going to put that in the recycling. No, you have to take the label off, and the cap and the little ring that the cap screws on. You take those off, and so the label and that cap and the ring thing goes in one type of recycling, and the clear bottle goes in another type of recycling. But then you separate that from the cans, and you separate that from the glass, and you separate that. And then there's burnables, and then there's non-burnables, and then there's, on and on. Sorry, this is going way longer than I had anticipated. But it's going to be a puzzle. Everything from buying groceries, simple little things at the grocery store, or going into the 7-Eleven or whatever, it can feel stressful because you don't even know, like, what are they saying, and I don't know what a fukuro is, but I do know that's a shopping bag, and they always ask you if you want to buy one, and I didn't know how to ask for help, and just didn't know the phrases. And like I said, you can watch those videos and you can learn those phrases. Koto Academy also has, and this is kind of piggybacking on 3. Koto Academy, which is the major language school here, has these free resources on their website, and you can print out like how to write an email in Japan, how to say hello, how to greet, it's just all these things of culture and language, and how to understand what they're saying on the train when you're riding the train, how to understand when you go to a convenience store what they're asking you, how to respond. It's all great, and you can print them out. My husband's been printing them out and stapling them, and gripping them, and bringing them home. It's been great. Positive, think of it as a puzzle. Celebrate the small wins. Be excited about all the unique things you're getting to see and learn and do, because you ain't getting any younger, and it's an adventure. See it as an adventure. I'm saying this to myself. See it as an adventure, not as a frustration and, just a challenge every day. See it as a puzzle. See it as something like, I'm going to figure this out. I'm determined. I am going to figure this out, and just do it. You can do it. For the language things, Google Translate lets you, if you click the little, picture button, it will let you put it on top of a label, and it will translate everything on the label. You can even take a picture. You can even take a picture with your regular camera and pull it into Google Translate, and it will translate it for you. And so you always know, what are these buttons? I have to do that for every device in our house. So a realtor helped us, and then we also had to they didn't do all of them. So we had to figure that out on our app and screenshot and then print it, and then we've blue taped it to the wall because we can't put anything on our walls. Use blue tape to connect it beside the toilet, beside the washer, beside the dryer, beside the dishwasher, all that, so that we know what do these buttons mean, because it's hard to remember. Make a cheat sheet for yourself. We have a notes app, and when we meet someone, we add their name, and we put things about them, because it's so overwhelming. You're meeting different people, and especially if it's a different language, especially if it's you're going a variety of places, and they use the Line app here and WhatsApp are the main 2 things, but primarily Line, and it's a little different. But we use Notes app on our iPhone, and we just add the, at this church, these are the names and these are the things about the people. So it helps build the confidence when you go back. You can look over that, and you're not coming from scratch, and you're not kicking yourself I can't even remember their name. Oh, I forgot what they said. And it's okay if you don't remember everything, but at least you have these little notes that can help you. Big tip there. Big tip. Very, very helpful. Number 5, there's a huge emotional and unique emotional weight from being away from family. It's when something hard or joyful happens to the people you love. It's so hard to be apart from them. And it's so hard not to be able to help. So there is this helpless feeling that I feel. And it's difficult, but I know that God's in control, and I'm a control freak. and I try to control things, and I try because I just want to help and I want to make things better, like for my kids and for my friends and for my siblings, and I can't do that. So I have to rely on the Lord to hear my prayers and to do what is best for them. He knows what's better than I do, and He is faithful. It's also a positive. I'm learning to be independent. I'm learning this new life of, when am I ever going to be in a foreign country? When I was in college, I did travel to Europe and to Malaysia for 3 months and Singapore, and then got to visit my daughter in China. But I was with a group, and this is different when you're on your own and you're responsible for figuring things out, and you are here without emotional support, family support, friend support, like right next to you. Now, Marco Polo is amazing. So a lot of my friends and I do Marco Polo, and that helps us see each other's face, because with the time difference, it's not always going to line up. But there is another app, and I'll put it in the bottom. It's Time Buddy, I think it is, and you can put multiple time zones. My daughter told me about this app, and you can line it up and you can figure out, okay, like so for our family, we have a daughter in DC, a daughter in Hawaii, and then my son's here, and it's just so hard to line up and connect. Like this morning, we were able to do a short family call, but my husband had already left like 30 minutes ago. He had to go to work. But yeah, so it's hard, all of us connecting all together. But there's technology. I'm so thankful for technology. Use it. Don't be afraid to use it. Find ways to stay connected. It may not be what it was before, but don't grieve. And I'm saying this to myself. I'm a verbal processor. So making these videos, this has been my emotional support. Thank you for those of you that follow and have been so encouraging and comment and give suggestions and input. I really, I read them all, and I really appreciate it. And I'm like just baffled and just touched that people would want to watch and would want to connect with me. So it's a way for me to verbally process a lot of things, for me to, have a purpose and a creative outlet. So that's kind of one of the things that I do with this channel. But you can find other ways. Find your thing. Find your thing for keeping up with your friends and your family. It's worth it. It's worth the effort. It's worth the energy. And sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes there's gaps of time. But I'm grateful for family members and for friends that don't guilt me if I can't answer right away, or it doesn't work, or it doesn't line up. Sometimes I'm just so down and discouraged. I just can't. I just have to like stay in a cave for a little bit, or I'm just super busy, or I'm exhausted, just like mentally, emotionally. Anywho, find what works. There's so many tools and so many options. Find what works. You can do it. You can do it. Some suggestions. Schedule regular video calls. If you can, build it into your schedule. Like, this is the day. Find your time, and like, it's a non-negotiable. This is the time we're going to call. Even make schedules for your family. Like, if you're all together in your foreign country, like if you have all your kids with you, like with our son, we're watching some series together. So at night we'll like have dinner, we'll sit and we'll watch an episode of something, and then we'll chat, and then we all go to bed. It's really nice. And then we'll do like watch parties with our daughter, or we'll have video calls with our other daughter. So create anchor moments in your life. Friday ramen night, walking your neighborhood loop, morning matcha. Reach out to your community when you need a shoulder. And actually, during the tsunami, the sweet couple reached out to us at this church that we've started going to. And she messaged me. She was like, "Are you okay? Are you guys safe? Do you need somewhere to go? How are you doing?" I was just like, oh, someone does care. God does see us. He sees you. And when we need it, He will send the people and the encouragement. So trust that. Number 6. Living in Japan is beautiful and bittersweet. And that's kind of been a theme through all of those things. There's beautiful things, and then there's challenges. It is gorgeous here. There are tons of things to see, to do, to eat. Oh, I'm in love with shopping at the local market. The food is fresh. I've never wanted to buy as many vegetables in my life. They're just, so fresh, so delicious. And the seafood and the fish, and going to the restaurants and all the different yummy, delicious Food is just amazing. And the Combini is right at the end of our driveway. So I can just pop over to Lawson and get a snack or get something. It's just like so amazing. But, and, before the but, and the trains are so efficient, and that's one thing that at first I was so nervous about, and prior to coming I was like freaking out, like I've got to figure out, because when I went to China I was with my daughter and we used public transport, and when we went to DC she navigated it all, in China she navigated it all, and I didn't have to even think about it. I'm like, I have no idea where we're going or where we're getting off or whatever, I'm just following. But coming here I had to figure it out, and I'm glad I did. It is not that hard. Google Maps especially just like gives it all to you there, and I've made a couple videos, so go check those out if you want to see on the apps thing. There's 6 apps that you need if you're coming to Japan that I use almost all of them every day. It's like amazing. I hope it's helpful to you, and I feel like I'm getting like extra excited, so trying not to talk too fast and too rambly. But anyway, all that's wonderful. But bittersweet part, it's not cheap. Going on the train costs money. Oh, we love driving our cars too, but gas is not cheap. And I don't feel comfortable driving too far, but I love driving. I love driving in Japan, and I have a little car. I don't have a K car, but I have a Honda Fit, and it's small enough that I can I don't feel nervous maneuvering the small one-way, two-way streets and reversing. Everyone, that's the rule. You reverse into your parking stall. So anyway, all that's great and golden. It's not cheap. So to go to our church in Yokohama, and we live in South Yokohama, it's only like an hour 15, hour 20, door to door. So like a 10-minute walk to the train, take the train, and then like a 10-minute walk to the church. It costs us $10 one way. And so that's $20 a trip on a Sunday for just one of us. And there's 3 of us. So it's $60 every week just to go to church. And I don't think that would be the amount but the nice thing is the church does have a parking lot in the front. So starting this week, I'm going to be singing on the praise team for the first time. Pray for me. And there's songs in Japanese, and I'm like practicing them, and I'm nervous, but I'm excited too. I've really missed singing praise and helping serve and all that. So excited and nervous, but there's parking in the front. So this week I have to be there early for practice, and I think we're going to try to drive. So that'll save us some money if we can drive and we can park at the church. That would be a lifesaver, but it adds up. And the Shinkansen, sometimes it is cheaper, depending where you're going, it's cheaper to fly to that location than it is to take the train. Like I went down to Nagoya, and I had to take multiple trains and a bus to get to where we were going, and the Shinkansen in between those trains. And it was like, just the Shinkansen itself was like $80 one way, and we had to come back. So it was insane, and it was cheaper to fly and just take a bus to where we need to go. Anywho, so challenging, beautiful. Oh, the country is beautiful, and where we live, we're close enough to the city that we can get big city life. I just spent time in Shibuya with Kevin's cousins, and we just had a blast. It was like amazing. I got to see all these like amazing stores I never would have gone in had they not have known and took me with them, and it was just so fun, and just so many people, and it was just like so much energy and so much, it was just like, oh, it's like so hopping. And then the next day we drove 2 hours and went to the Fuji 5 Lakes, and peaceful, beautiful scenery, cool weather, the breeze, the trees, the nature. We saw deer. We saw this big horned deer on one side, and then the baby deer on the other side. It was like 5 of them. And we swam in the cold, clear, beautiful Lake Motosu. Oh, it was just like, it was just amazing. And it was so beautiful. And the drive there was beautiful, passing all the rice fields and the mountains and the villages, the little neighborhood and villages in the valleys and the farmland. And oh, it was just amazing. but it's not cheap. So keep a gratitude journal. This is my things to myself. Keep a gratitude journal. Even just 3 things a day that you're grateful for. Make a budget and say, have a target. Okay, I'm going to, we're going to do this month. So, we're trying to venture when we can, but also trying to be budget conscious because there's, utilities are not cheap. We have gas, electric, water, car taxes, car insurance. Yeah, it adds up. Plus some of our bills that we still have for our house in Hawaii, it adds up. So we're having to really be very mindful and good stewards of our money and not just go and frivolously spend it. And so we're trying to what are the free activities? There's tons of free things to see and do and go and experience. So trying to be mindful of that and okay, how much is this going to cost? Is it better to go to the train? Better to drive? Stay here, stay there, whatever. It's just great. Make short joy films for yourself. This is one of the reasons that I wanted to do this channel and vlog our experiences, because that brings me joy to be able to share it with you, and also for our family and our friends and family that some of them watch, some of them don't. It's okay. I'm not offended. Not everybody wants to watch me ramble on YouTube, but it's here, and hopefully it brings someone joy. If it puts a smile on your face, or it makes you be able to experience something that maybe you won't be able to experience or you're looking forward to, and it helps you prepare you for a trip or moving, or I just hope, my heart's desire is to be a help and an encouragement and a positive light. Although some of this in this video has been kind of a little downer, and I'm oh, woe is me, but there's the flip side. I'm really trying to find the joy. I'm really trying to find the positive. I'm really trying to find ways to pull myself out of my wallow self-pity pit, but also give myself permission to be there if I need to be there. It's okay. It's okay to be sad. It's okay. It's okay to miss your family and your friends. It's okay. It doesn't mean that anything's wrong with you. It means you're a person and you feel, and that you've had the opportunity to love and be loved, and you're still loved and able to love, but being away is hard, but it's also good. And I know God's doing something really special, and He has us here for a purpose, and we're seeing He's just revealing here and there, and just affirmation that we're supposed to be here. I don't know for how long, but it's been good. Cherry blossoms, all the wisteria, all the flowers, it's just beautiful here, and the food is amazing, and the people are kind and they're sweet, very hardworking and very respectful, very mindful, and it's a beautiful culture. I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm getting better. So, okay. Every move brings challenges, but it also brings growth, and Japan has been that for us. I hope that something that I've shared has encouraged you, has enlightened you, has given you hope, given you support, given you suggestions, given you insight to what life is like here. Something that I've shared has helped you, whether you're already packing or just beginning to dream. No, there's beauty in the unknown and grace in the learning. That's written over there, so I just read it out loud. But it's true. I'm going to read that again. There's beauty in the unknown and grace in the learning. Give yourself grace. Acknowledge the beauty. Also acknowledge the hard. Give yourself permission to be sad and grieve, but then pull yourself out of it and find the good and the positive and the lovely. If you found this helpful, please share. Please consider subscribing if you want more content like this. I don't do a lot of these talking head videos where I just am on here rambling. I usually are doing a day in the life or cooking videos. This is kind of a different thing. So I hope someone finds it helpful, and I hope it hasn't been too much rambling. I don't know. I'll try to do some editing on it, but I don't know how much editing I'll do. But I hope that you are finding joy and support and encouragement wherever you are and whatever you're experiencing. And I thank you for being here. From my heart to yours, sincerely, Dawn.